second debate on prime time is a story that probably the BJP hoped will be buried, forgotten for now at least, just like they're hoping that the student protests get quelled. Tonight I expose how NRC is not really on the back burner for the BJP, irrespective of what's being said. Mirror now has accessed BJP's West Bengal booklet that is being distributed across the state of West Bengal as part of this Citizenship Amendment Act outreach program. Now, you all know the BJP has launched this program across the nation to deal with the misinformation about CAA, they say, to inform people what it really is about, to dispel all the rumors, to answer all the questions of the people. And so state after state, their local party unit, the local leaders, as well as the big leaders, central leaders, top ministers, they're all going across taking the message of CAA forward. Now, what does the booklet that's in Bengali really say? It clearly says CAA first, NRC next. This booklet that I'm talking about, viewers, is part of their campaign, was actually launched in Kolkata as part of the CAA campaign. Now, I'm going to give you an excerpt. It's like a Q&A within this booklet. And this is the excerpt that really caught our eye. Question that was put in here, it's like a Q&A. So, the question that they themselves have put there, like an FAQ, says, will it be NRC after this? How much is needed? And if there will be NRC, will Hindus have to go to detention center like in Assam? These are the questions that the BJP in its own booklet has put. Here is what the answer says. Yes, after this, NRC will be implemented. At least the center's intention looks like that. Before that, we would like to clarify. This is what it goes on to say. I'm quoting now from the booklet. Before that, we would like to clarify that no Hindus went to detention center in Assam due to NRC. No Hindus went to detention center in Assam due to NRC. That those 11 lakh Hindus who are in detention center in Assam right now are there because of the Foreigners Act. Obviously, the illegal immigrants basis the paper. The truth, whether it's a problem, whether wrong paperwork has happened, something has gone wrong with the NRC process, we don't know. But this is what the booklet says. Then it goes on to say that Assam NRC has been implemented basis a Supreme Court order. Correct, that's a fact. Then it goes on to say, hopefully those detained in Assam will get citizenship after CAA. Those detained in Assam, put in these detention centers under the Foreigners Act, will hopefully be released after the implementation of the Citizenship Act. Goes on to say, infiltration is a huge problem. That is why nationwide NRC is absolutely needed. As per estimates, now this is not my estimate, this is the BJP booklet estimate. As per estimates, 2 crore illegal immigrants live in West Bengal and Assam. We need to include the illegal immigrants in the doubtful voters list and throw them out of the country. And then it adds, after CAA, if NRC comes, Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists and Christians will not be in the doubtful voters list. Homeland for Hindus and Sikhs is secure. Now, we have been repeatedly telling you that CAA has to be seen in the context of NRC. The entire protest is between the CAA and NRC. People fear that while those of certain religion, namely the Sikhs religion, will get to stay in this country and all other illegal immigrants will be thrown out. Why is BJP's CAA campaign talking and promoting NRC? Remember, this is happening after on December 22nd, Prime Minister himself tried to debunk the NRC fears. And he came out and said there is no such conversation that the government is currently looking at for a nationwide NRC. It was the Prime Minister himself, after student protests across the country, who spoke on NRC and said lies are being spread. Not just him, even the Home Minister clarified on NRC. Then why is it that the West Bengal BJP is saying something different? Are you telling us something on paper via the government, but keeping the political fire going via your on-ground campaigns? That's the only question I have. Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson for the BJP. Professor Monajit Mondal, TMC supporter, joins us this evening. Binay Viswam, member of the Parliament of the Rajya Sabha. And Sangeet Kumar Ragi, political analyst, joins us this evening. Tuhin, let's begin with you. If you can explain to us on the last page of this booklet, on page 23, what is being told to the people of Bengal?
Tanvi, at best, it seems that there has been a lapse on the part of people in charge of printing this booklet, because the Hindi version of the same booklet does not have any mention of NRC. So I think what exactly the issue is something which a local representative or the person in charge of printing can explain, or one of the local office bearers of the Bengal unit of the party can explain. But as far as we are concerned, there is absolutely no ambiguity on the whole issue of CA and NRC, and I can repeat that once again for the benefit of your viewers. So far as CA is concerned, that has already become a law, according to which the naturalization process for the persecuted Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Christians and two other religions would be reduced from 12 years to mere 5 years, and the cutoff date would be 2014. And that applies to all the states, and that applies at a pan-India level. The states do not have the right to decide, because citizenship is an issue which comes under the Schedule 7 of the Constitution. Insofar as NRC is concerned, the only NRC which has taken place is in Assam, because that was mandated by the Assam Accord of 1985. As of today, we are not going in for NRC across the country. But when it comes to the issue of NRC, yes, that is a mission statement. We believe that at some point of time, the country should be prepared for NRC. There has to be a conducive time for us for that. We waited many decades to abrogate Article 370. We will wait for the right time to implement NRC across the country.
No, but I'm not understanding. Are people of Bengal expected to read the Hindi translation or the Bengali version? Because they're going to read the Bengali version, so it doesn't matter what we sit here and discuss on English news channels. If in Bengali your party workers on ground go and tell them that, bhai, this is all moving towards NRC and all these people will go away and all those people will stay back. So the messaging is very mixed. Either you say the NRC is not happening, or you say yes, it is happening. Printing mistake is very convenient, Mr. Tuhin Sinha. How can your CA outreach campaign be based on a printing mistake?
It's not convenient. Yeah. So let me explain this. It is neither convenient nor is there a design in it, because in almost all urban centers of Bengal today, there is a huge Hindi reading and speaking population. So it's not as if, we want two separate sets of communication to go. To my understanding, there has been a lapse on the part of people in charge of printing. And I think the local office bearers would be in the best position to explain it, because after the Prime Minister has explained the position on NRC, after the Home Minister has explained the position on both NRC and CAA, and so far as the party is concerned, there is absolutely no ambiguity across the country.
Well, the last comment I heard from West Bengal's BJP chief, which is Dilip Ghosh, says we had promised the people of Bengal that we will clear the state of infiltrators and we cannot go back on our promise. Whatever political controversy of whatever magnitude the opposition may try to create, we cannot compromise on national security. So, Mr. Monajit Mondal, I'm not too sure if I have missed something. Has there been a clarification from the BJP in Bengal that this was a printing mistake?
You are absolutely right, Tanvi, when you said that this statement was issued by Mr. Dilip Ghosh, today only, that will clear all the Muslim infiltrators, quote-unquote Muslim infiltrators. That's what he tried to mean. And let me tell you with some responsibility that this particular law was brought in to bail out the Hindu left out in Assam. That is clear. Otherwise, if you see all the debates for the last 1.5 years on this particular issue of NRC, what was the position of the BJP from top to bottom? The rank and file of the BJP used to say that घुसपैठियाज को बाहर निकलेंगे, 40 लाख घुसपैठियाज मिल गया, अभी 19 लाख हो गया, इन लोगों को बाहर निकलेंगे. And within the span of 3 months, you see, within the span of 3 months from August 31st to December, the whole situation changed. Now they are not talking about the घुसपैठियाज. In fact, reversely, this law is actually legalizing the घुसपैठियाज, as pointed out by my friend from BJP also. Wherever they are, only the non-Muslim घुसपैठियाज are legalized. Non-Muslim घुसपैठियाज will be naturalized. That is the point. Now, why does this come? This comes from the Assam BJP, because they had the demand. They knew that their vote bank, especially the 12 lakh Hindus, because they were left out of the NRC. And mind you, most of these 12 lakhs are actually Indian citizens.
Can I rebut this?
All of them are certainly not living in the detention centers. Few thousands are living in the detention centers. Please let me complete. All 12 lakhs are not living in the detention centers. Some are living in the detention centers. But most of them are Indian citizens who came to India before 1971, before the creation of Bangladesh. Now, to give some kind of bailout to these people, readily quick solution to these people, to in a sense stick to their vote bank, they had to bring this law. And mind you, again I'm telling, this law was passed keeping in mind specific demand from the Assam BJP. It would be clear by the statement given by the most powerful minister in Assam, that is, the finance minister. That is Bishwa Sharma, Hemanta Bishwa Sharma. He used to say that CAA, NRC will be a kind of combo package. First CAA, then NRC. Why? We clearly know, because even if the Hindus are left out because
of NRC, Mr. Professor Vandon, let's listen to what BJP has to say in response to you. I have a few more questions. I have a few more questions because, before we go to that, let Tuhin Sinha respond to you. Yes.
Yes.
For the benefit of my TMC friend who may not have been politically active or may not be aware of what happened in 2015, the CAB was first introduced in 2015, and the only reason we could not pass it was because we did not have a majority in the Rajya Sabha. At that point of time, we had no idea what would be the outcome of the NRC, which was monitored by the Supreme Court. The NRC result came out in 2018. So we had absolutely no idea, and it is not linked to the NRC in Assam. Number two, he's talking about we legalizing refugees. Does he understand what religious persecution is? He must be privy to, Calcutta is full of localities, full of illegal, refugees from Bangladesh. Have some sympathy for those people who have been religiously persecuted, and it is quite obvious that in these three theocratic states, the only people who would be religiously persecuted are those people who don't belong to the religion which the state professes.
No, listen, now let's just be clear. Tonight, no, 1 minute, gentlemen. Tonight, the debate is not about the merits or the demerits exactly of the NRC. We've done that far too many times. I am now just trying to understand what's going on. Are we headed towards NRC? Are we not headed towards NRC? Should I believe what Prime Minister is saying and Home Minister is saying? But then if that is the case, then why is it that on ground something else is being told to people? Binoy Viswam, this leaves it completely open-ended, because the narrative that is being sold to people on ground is, look, between the CAA and the NRC, we keep all the Hindus and, Sikhs and Christians here, and the only religion that's not mentioned here, those people get thrown out. That's exactly what this says.
You are right. It is not a printing mistake. It's a mistake of the vision. It's a mistake of the perception. It's a mistake which can't be pardoned, that the BJP wants this nation to be built up in the future only on the basis of religion, which is a concept that the Indian Sikh cannot accept at all. India cannot be a religious theocratic state. Very clearly, the country has stated it. In 1947, it was discussed in our country, length and breadth, that whether this country can be a religion-based nation like Pakistan, or it should be an India where secularism should be the basis of the nation foundation, rebuilding of the nation. And India got the correct answer that this country can go forward only as a secular state, not as a religious state. In that way, for us, Pakistan is not a model at all. Our model, first, second and third and last, is India, not Pakistan. In the BJP, in the RSS, so many of the friends are now telling us to make Pakistan our model. No. Our model is India and India alone. Don't try to impose your Pakistani version on us. We are the people of India, the sons and daughters of India, who are in our belief, in our faith, in our conviction, everything. Secularism is our most devoted faith. Nothing more, nothing less.
Fair
And
enough.
now BJP is telling in Bengal they had a spelling mistake,
Yes.
printing mistake. How is it a mistake? What is the real position of the BJP? Tell us the truth frankly, at least now.
So I'm
Amit
also
Shah
confused.
in the house, in the parliament.
So you need to understand.
Yes, I'm also
Hello,
confused,
can
Mr.
I
Viswam.
proceed?
Yes.
Can I proceed?
Yes.
Why? Can
No.
I proceed?
Vinod Viswam, you are saying the
So you
BJP
need
must
to
clarify
understand
whether
this
they're
is
going
also
ahead
a
with it or
older
not.
version.
Let me
I am also confused here. If I can just bring up this point, Mr. Viswam, and you would want to hear this as well. And to Tuhin Sinha, Shayantanu Basu, General Secretary of the Bengal unit of BJP, says this booklet in Bengali is not at all the translation of Hindi. Here in Bengal, there has been a lot of confusion over CAA and NRC. Therefore, the NRC point has been given in the Bengali version of the booklet, and it is written there that implementation of NRC is the central government's prerogative. They're not calling this a printing mistake because it was a translation problem. They have put it
Then
there.
I have a simple
by
question.
choice, by choice, the
If that is the
Bengal
case-
BJP unit
if that
has
is the
put
ca-
this there because one of the states where it will matter the most when you speak about CA and NRC together is West Bengal, Tuhin Sinha. It's not Gujarat or Maharashtra. You know it and I know it.
Please.
So who is the
I ask a
gentleman
question
you're
to him?
referring to? Whose statement you're
This is the General
whose statement
Secretary
you're
of
referring to right
BJP
now?
in Bengal.
If I may just ask.
So, Shayantan Basu, the General Secretary of BJP in Bengal.
See,
He
I am
knows.
not privy to the statement
Yes,
he
so you're
has
Bengal-
made, but
so-
I will still repeat for your information. Let me put this on record. When it comes to NRC is something which we are ideologically committed to. But yes, like many other issues, like the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, which we have always been committed to, like the abrogation of Article 370, there will be a conducive time for it. We are not carrying it out immediately. That is the stated and official position of the party, and I don't think there is any room for ambiguity on that.
Okay. Sangeet Kumar Ragi, do you agree with that? Is that
And in
what
fact,
it is?
any country
that we're
which
not doing it
values
right
its national
now?
security, just 1 second, just 10 seconds. If any country which values its national security will understand the importance of an exercise like NRC.
Where people only of one religion are a threat to our national security
Yeah,
and
I
none of
wish
the
to come
others
in
are.
here.
Okay, I take your point. If that's that obviously is what
This is very interesting. Tanvi, he's talking about national security, and look why from the people are coming from Pakistan and Afghanistan.
but they are Hindus and Christians and Buddhists, Mr. Mondal. That's
What
why
are
they
you
can
trying
get
to say,
citizenship.
Manojit Mandal? What are you trying to say?
The Muslims can't. Sangeet
You
Kumar Ragi.
see, Tanvi, look at the
Who are our
contradiction in his
neighbors?
argument.
Do I need to explain the geography
He is
to
talking
you?
about national security, but inviting
what
people from
contradiction are you talking?
Talibanistan and Pakistan.
Are you aware of the
he's
geography
talking
of the
about national security,
subcontinent?
but
Who are our
inviting people
neighbors?
from Pakistan and Talibanistan.
No, so who are our
Please,
neighbors? Do I need to
know.
explain the geography of the
Please
subcontinent
correct
to you?
yourself. Bangladesh is not a theocratic state. Bangladesh is not
So
a
obviously the
theocratic state. Correct
persecuted
yourself. It's a
minorities would be
People's
coming
Republic
from
of
there
Bangladesh,
and not
which
from
has got a
US
state
or
religion.
Canada.
No, correct yourself. You correct yourself. You can't insult our good neighbor like Bangladesh. It's not a theocratic state.
Obviously,
it's a
the persecuted
Republic
minorities who come into India come from these three neighboring countries.
Yourself.
Okay.
They don't come from China, they don't come from Russia, so obviously they will be coming in from these three countries.
Because of persecution. All the minorities don't come because of persecution. There are other reasons also for crossing the borders. There are other reasons also for crossing the borders, for good opportunities, for natural calamities. What are you talking about? Go and read the United Nations
Which you would know
argument.
better because TMC has patronized illegal migrants. Yes, because you know that better because TMC has only patronized illegal migrants in Bengal. It has created it as vote bank politics. So obviously you know the reasons better.
Okay. Gentlemen, okay. All right. Take a deep breath. Both of you take a deep breath. I think you've made your point to the viewers right now. Professor Mandal, take a deep breath. Calm down. Let me go across to Sangeet Kumar Ragi. I think it's pretty clear that the NRC inclusion has been deliberately done in that booklet. And it's, they are speaking to the audience there. They're speaking to the people of West Bengal, and their messaging is very, very clear. There is no doubt about it that unless we say that, okay, Prime Minister says it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it is definitely going to happen for this specific reason.
First of all, I am in favor of a secular India, and this is precisely, it becomes far more important to insulate India against the radical Islam coming from theocratic states like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. This is it becomes far more important. Otherwise, what
Bangladesh is not a theocratic state. Correct yourself.
Of
Bangladesh is not a theocratic
Islam
state.
Increases in India. Can you stop your idiocy?
Okay, let's not be rude
stop?
to each other, but Professor Mandal, please don't interrupt him.
Come on. Bangladesh.
Professor Mandal, no, I don't want any of this language being used here on this channel and on this debate. But Professor Mandal, let's just show some courtesy to the other side.
Know what kind
we
of
listen on this debate, we listen to all sides. Don't force me to put the audio down for anybody, please. Let's listen to what the other side has to say. This is the first comment he is making. I want him to finish his point. I just want to listen to what Sangeet Kumar Ragi has to say. Please, go ahead.
Can I complete my version? Yes, so it becomes all the more important because if there is increase in the radicalized numerical population of Islam in this country, India will be again in another Pakistan or will be facing the threat of another Pakistan or another radicalized Bangladesh in this country. Ultimately, in 1947, when India was divided into Pakistan and Hindustan, it was only in the name of in the name of religion, and the radicalized Islam population, made it possible. So there is a big threat. Number two. In fact, I don't find any sense of oxymoronity when Amit Shah or Prime Minister talks about NRC and CAA. The matter is very clear that the people who are persecuted minorities coming from these countries would be given this, they will be the refugee, and the rest of them would be, particularly you call them Muslims. Yes, there will be no place from radical Muslims coming from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Islam. They will not be given the citizenship. They will not be given the right to vote in the system. So that is very clear. I won't be mincing any words, but this is what I understand from. And therefore, I think that what we are discussing is only recycling the arguments we have been talking about for last quite some time. I just want to know from the people of this country, those who are against CAA, why they want to, why they want the Muslim population, radicalized Muslim population coming from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Pakistan, whose forefathers divided this nation in name of religion, and they said that we can't coexist with Hindus population. Why they want to settle this? Is there no Bangladeshi conclaves or Pakistani conclaves? What will happen to the security of this nation? What is the guarantee that these Bangladeshi and Pakistani enclaves in India will not breathe for Pakistan and Bangladesh in times to come, and they will be challenging the entire security narratives of this country?
Mr. Ragi,
So
I have
this
a
is
point.
precisely the
That's
reason
your
that it
view, and
becomes
that's
far more important to have NRC and CAA.
Well, I don't understand that view, but that's your view, and you can express it. I'm just trying to understand. So this is what the fear for many people is, that when you combine CAA and you with NRC, what essentially happens is that those Hindus who are illegal immigrants in this detention center, they come out. All the other religions get citizenship in this country, only the Muslims get thrown out. That's essentially the fear that people who see CAA plus NRC have. And this booklet validates that. This booklet is selling that narrative.
It's not just that, Tanvi.
This booklet and this answer that I have read says exactly that point. Is that what the idea is then? Let's just admit it straight away. That between making a list of citizens and then bringing in a citizenship act that only gives citizenship to a few of them, we are ensuring that the Muslims get thrown out and only these religions are kept inside, right?
It's not just that. There is more to it.
Tanvi, the Prime Minister, Tanvi, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister talked about CAA, and the entire country discussed CAA. But nobody is sure about what will be the form of National Citizen Register. Nobody has seen what are the documents that is required for that purpose.
Correct.
And
yeah, but I'm not talking about the legalities here. I'm talking about what the BJP is telling people in Bengal.
So what the Prime Minister, what the Prime Minister has said, or what the Home Minister has said, we are focused right now only on the CAA, and in what form the citizen register will unfold itself, we are yet to discuss the modalities, and when we will do it precisely in open
then say that to the people. Then say that to the people. Say to the people, Mr. Sangeet Kumar Ragi, that's where the duplicity, that's where the double standards get exposed. When you say something here on TV channels and in studios and make comments inside the parliament or outside the parliament, but when you go to people in the interiors, when you go to the people who are confused, who are asking questions, you tell them a completely different story. And you tell them that Hindus and Sikhs will have a homeland here and all the other illegal people will be thrown outside. That's the point that you are still telling people. It's different. Politics is being played. You are arguing with me on the legalities, and I can have that argument with you on legalities. But I am asking you, what are you doing about this situation politically?
At the time of partition.
Binoy Viswam wanted to make a point.
So this is what the freedom fighters and even Mahatma Gandhi has promised to Hindus and Sikhs at the time of the partition, and thereafter also. So what is wrong in it?
What is wrong in it, Binoy Viswam? This is what they have been promised for the past 70 years. Yes, Binoy Viswam will respond to that.
No, if we look upon the issue only from the viewpoint of the BJP, there is nothing wrong. But if we look upon the matter from India's point of view, it is absolutely a wrong procedure. You see, in the Bengali booklet, they say something.
Can I rebut that?
And the officials in the Bengali BJP telling that it's a printing mistake. No, it's a printing mistake. And this printing mistake and this booklet is nothing to be worried about. This is the real face of BJP.
It's not a printing mistake, Mr. Viswam. It's not a printing mistake. Somebody forgot to tell Tuhin Sinha that. Maybe the central BJP doesn't know what the state units are doing. The state units are catering to their voters on ground.
First of all,
I think Tuhin Sinha, you need to tell your own party workers first what the message of Prime Minister and Home Minister are.
Let me explain myself.
Yes, Mr. Viswam. Okay, Binoy Viswam, finish your point.
Let me explain myself. This is the point. Now, on the very same issue, in the very same, please, let me please. On the very same issue, on the floor of the Indian Parliament, the Home Minister on 9 occasions stated that they are for the NRC. Then came the public speech of the Prime Minister that it is not on the agenda. In the cabinet, it was never discussed. In the parliament, never discussed, says the Prime Minister. Then the Home Minister made a somersault saying that this matter is not yet discussed. But this was always there. Now the BJP spokesman in this discussion says that they are waiting for the conducive moment, the appropriate moments to implement the NRC. That means to say that in this country, only Hindus are the privileged citizens and the Muslims are aliens in this country. And they want to frighten the Muslim population of India. The Muslims who are the Indian citizens, they want to frighten them.
I think you have a
is
penchant
to
for
divide the country
exaggeration. I'm
on
sorry.
religious
I'm
lines.
sorry. You
Don't
have a
divide the
penchant
country.
for
Don't divide the
exaggeration.
country.
Neither
Don't
CAA
divide-
nor
don't divide the
NRC
country.
means what
Don't
you are
divide the
interpreting it to
country.
be.
No.
Can I
Okay,
finally?
yes, yes.
This is exaggeration of the worst
NRC,
order.
you're telling that.
Binay Viswam, let him respond.
Absolutely. Let me set the record straight over here that in 1951. In 1951, when Nehru-Liaquat Pact was signed, even that fallacious pact and the option of CAA has been existing since then. It is 70 years too late. Even when the Nehru-Liaquat Pact was being signed, we had major opposition to it. And the only alternative, even at that point of time, was CAA. To suddenly say that we are prioritizing India as a Hindu country by CAA is an act of exaggeration by you.
Didn't you change the clauses? Didn't you make it easier for these people? Didn't you reduce the amount of years they have to be here? Didn't you make the process, didn't you change the process? Please don't tell us this is exactly what was being discussed 40 years ago. This is the BJP's version of it. Let's just be very honest about it.
And may I ask my BJP friend one thing?
Answer my question, please. Answer my question.
I may ask the BJP friend one simple question.
Yes.
Very simple question.
If you believe, you've been talking, let me answer now. If you believe that by mentioning 6 religions, we are making it communal, then I'm sorry, we are only streamlining the bill. We are only streamlining the act. It is common sense. In these three theocratic countries, who are the persecuted religions? Obviously, the minorities over there. So, in fact, by mentioning those 6 religions, we have only streamlined the entire process. We have created a clear distinction between illegal migrants and genuine refugees.
Where the word persecuted mentions.
Binay Viswam has a question for Tuhin Sinha.
I have a simple question to my BJP friend. A very simple question. My question is that, please, my friend from the BJP, show me, please show me in the act which is now in existence, where is the word persecuted seen in that act? Nowhere in the act the word persecuted is seen in the bill, in the act. It is not there. You only say the names of some religions are mentioned.
I'm making an assertion today.
For public consumption.
You can confront me if you have the facts to confront me.
For public consumption only.
In a nutshell, what the CAA has done is it has reduced. Let me set your 100 accusations aside. In a nutshell, what the CAA has essentially done is it has naturalized it has reduced the naturalization process, the duration for these 6 persecuted religious minorities from a period of 12 years to 5 years. In a nutshell, that is all that it does. By
but you answer the specific question. See, now you answer the specific question. Tuhin Sinha, does the word persecution feature legally in this new act? That's the question Binay Viswam is asking you. Are you specifying persecution or are you only specifying the religion of the people?
It
doesn't.
Let me, the
see,
shrinking population of these
no,
three
it doesn't.
religious
It doesn't.
minorities in these
Answer
three
it, answer
countries is
it,
not
answer the
happening by
question.
choice.
Answer my
It
question.
doesn't.
It's happening because
you
of
don't,
persecution.
You tell us that these are the minorities who are being persecuted there. You don't put it in your law. That's essentially the point that the left is making today. That is essentially the point. A lot of people have come out and made this. You're saying it's about religious persecution, but you're not putting it down in the law.
It's common sense that somebody who arrives in India yesterday is
I
not
don't
going to be
think, I don't
naturalized
think
upon
laws
it.
and acts in this country are
It's also
designed
common
simply
knowledge
basis
that
on
somebody
common
who
sense and
arrives in
assumptions.
India today
Sangeet Kumar Ragi.
from one of these three countries and belongs to these six communities will not be naturalized. He has to go through due process.
Then why make it separate for them? Isn't it about those who are being
I have one more
persecuted in
question.
these countries?
I
Or that's just common sense and we are
I
now
have one
starting
more
to
question.
assume things when we are starting to design our laws? I'm sorry, legally speaking and politically speaking, this is simply a tool that is being used by the BJP.
I have one more question now.
Sangeet Kumar Ragi wants to make a point. Go ahead, please.
Tanvi, this is unfortunate, but I am ready to note it that those who celebrate the entire idea of Islamic Brotherhood, they are on toes and they are in uprisings, and they are questioning the secular identity of India. They stand in support of their fellow brothers belonging to their religious denominations coming from these three states, and they are saying that if they state, it means that secularism in India will survive only when you accommodate the Muslims, and to any extent. People are asking that why not Muslims? I'm asking a counter question, that it was the only religious denomination which demanded for a separate homeland. No other religious denomination. India still continues to be a land of diversity. But the only religion which partitioned is India and demanded for a separate homeland, on the ground then we won't be considered. Sir, please, sir, please, sir. Sir, please, sir. No, sir.
Can I come
I'm
in?
sorry to say.
I'm
sorry to say you read the last meeting of Jinnah with the Muslim League. I'm telling you, have you read Jinnah's statement, last meeting of Jinnah with the Muslim League? That the Muslims of India who were left out, they asked that what will happen to our future? Jinnah retorted back, you stay in India. We will be cultivating many more Pakistan in this country. Your staying in this country is essential. What is the narrative after 70 years? Whether it is a matter of Urdu, whether it is a matter of religious icons, whether it is a matter of cultural icons, they continue to be the matter of debate and contestations even after 70 years of partition. What were the issues earlier? Before 70 years continues to be dominating the Indian political discourse.
Let me say
so why this country was divided 70 years back, sir, when you want to get back the entire population coming from Pakistan and Bangladesh?
Yes, Binoy Viswam. Professor Mandal, I'm coming to you next.
I ask my question. Now, my question is a question which comes from bunch of thoughts. Once during Goldberg's time, a question was asked to him, what will be the status of the minorities in India if India becomes a Hindu Rashtra? Then the reply was like this: in Hindu Rashtra of their consumption, the minorities have nothing to worry about. They have to oblige with the religion of the country, culture of the country, and language of the country. In that way, they can remain here as India's citizens. If not, they can be allowed to stay here as foreigners without even the right to vote. This you can read in the bunch of thoughts even today. This is the basic reason for all these laws and amendments and all those things. BJP wants to see that the Muslims, the minorities in India, they should live as per the religion of the country.
Well, what their
That's
larger
the question.
design is and whether
Does
they want to do it
secular
now
India
and 50 years
have
later,
something?
I want a clarity from the
Well,
party and I want the clarity from the top leadership. If they don't know what
I
the
have
state
a
units are
simple-
doing, then it is a problem. For those viewers who missed what I
I
read
have a
out
simple query for this gentleman.
earlier in this debate, I am going to read this out one more time. This is what the BJP's outreach campaign booklet. Outreach campaign on CAA booklet in West Bengal says, yes, after CAA, NRC will be implemented. At least the centre's intention is that. Before that, we would like to mention that no Hindus went to detention center in Assam due to NRC. The 11 lakh Hindus who are in detention centers in Assam are because of the Foreigners Act. Assam NRC was implemented basis a Supreme Court order. Hopefully those who are detained in Assam, the 11 lakh Hindus, will get citizenship after CAA. And then when you bring in the NRC, you get rid of all the other infiltrators. NRC is absolutely needed to get rid of the other infiltrators. As per estimates, there are 2 crore illegal immigrants in West Bengal and Assam. We need to include them in the doubtful voters list and throw them out of the country. And after CAA, when NRC comes, the Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists and Christians won't be in the doubtful voters list. There will only be one set of religious people in that voters list who then should be thrown out of the country. That's essentially what the booklet says, Professor Mandal. That is the strategy. And that we are being told by the government, it won't happen. But the BJP is telling people in Bengal, it will happen.
That was the latent content in the bill as well. I made it clear.
It is a
First of all,
strategy.
Bangladesh was not created because of religious problems. Bangladesh was created because of linguistic problems. Everyone knows it.
Yes.
And having straight religion does not necessarily make you a theocratic state. England has also got a straight religion. Constitutionally valid.
My question is
England
that
is a democracy.
if that is true,
Bangladesh people are, please now behave like a wise man. Behave like a wise man now. You are a wise man. Behave like a wise man. In Bangladesh, there are 20 Hindu MPs, elected members of the parliament. 2 ministers, Hindu ministers in Bangladesh cabinet were elected members of Bangladesh. And Mr. Amit Shah on the floor of the house said that Hindus cannot contest election in Bangladesh. What are you talking about? Since you are an educated person, educate your home minister first. There are 20 out of 350 MPs, 20 MPs are Hindus. 2 are Hindu ministers. Even in Indian cabinet, there is only 1 Muslim minister. What are you talking about? Don't teach me all these histories. You teach yourself first. Having state religion doesn't necessarily make you a theocratic Islamic state. England also has got a state religion. Sri Lanka has also got a state religion. They are all
Can I also remind him that despite what he is mentioning, there are recurring episodes of violence against Hindus, that in 2013 itself 1,500 Hindu homes were destroyed.
I will wait for my turn.
Your selective memory is actually creating a big problem in India.
I called out your bluff. Now please let me finish. Why NRC and Tanvi were talking about...
1 minute, let him finish. Let him finish. He patiently heard everybody when I requested him to. Let's show him the courtesy now. Let him finish. Tuhin, you will get your turn. Tuhin, you will get your turn. Let Professor Mandal finish. Can I just hear Professor Mandal, please, and then Tuhin Sinha can respond.
They won't even allow me to speak. They won't even allow me to speak. Look at the arrogance of these people. Such a dishonest government I have never seen. On the floor of the House, Home Minister on at least 9 times in the last month, while submitting this bill, 9 times he said CAA, NRC. And Prime Minister, only because of this movement, they could have clearly confessed, yes, time is not conducive because of this movement, we are now backtracking. They don't even have the honesty of saying this. Look at this government with 350 members of parliament. They could have said, yes, the people don't want NRC, will not. Now they are trying to hide it by lies and lies, a series of lies. Home Minister said it on the floor of the House. Prime Minister said in a pre-election rally. Now there should be privilege motion against the Home Minister. Why he said that there would be CAA, NRC, now backtracking. In number of interviews given to all the national television channels, Home Minister says, We'll have nationwide NRC. There were some problems in Assam, but that problems will be plugged in. That is what double standard BJP means. BJP means double standard. They double speak. They create history. They muddle history. They muddle the voice of the people.
Okay,
That's how
okay.
to suit their own purpose.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
sorry to say this. And now if we talk about NRC, NRC problem is not only the non-Indians, even the Indians are suffering. To get the benefit of this act, Tanvi, the Indians will have to first say that I come from Bangladesh. I am a persecuted minority or whatever. Then only they get the benefit of this act. Go to Assam, go to detention camps, you will understand what the Hindus who came before 1971 to this country and yet their name is not there in the citizen register. Yes. They are saying that we will not take benefit of this act. And why Assam is boiling? Why Assam is up in arms? Let them first convince the Assamese people and, implement this act in Assam first. Then they will talk about the rest of the India.
Yes. Okay, Tuhin can respond and then Mr. Ragi, I'll come to you for final comments.
So despite his belabored and contrived attempts to glorify Bangladesh, let me remind him that there have been recurrent episodes of pointed violence against Hindu families. The last such episode was in 2013 when 1,500 Hindu homes were destroyed in Bangladesh, which he may not remember. Secondly, 2.4 million Bengali Hindus were killed during the 1971 war, which again he may not remember. Finally, let me remind you, let me give you the maximum clarity I can on NRC, like the abrogation of Article 370, like the construction of Ram Temple NRC is something which not only the BJP but any party and any country which is concerned about its national security and the future of national security of its country would be committed to. But yes, at this point of time, neither is there a proposal nor are we going ahead with it. We will wait when the conducive time comes.
So please inform your West Bengal BJP unit about it. Please inform your West Bengal BJP unit about it because the West Bengal BJP is telling the Bengalis right next to the state of Assam, who will be impacted the most with this, that after CAA comes the NRC. And the idea of NRC is to give citizenship to those between CAA and NRC. Those who are in detention centers, the Hindus in detention centers in Assam will get a citizenship. Sangeet Kumar Ragi, quickly, completely out of time, but you also wanted to respond. 30 seconds to you. Go ahead, please.
The only thing that I would like to ask Mr. Mandal, if the language was so a predominant issue, why the people speaking Bengalis, voted in favor of Pakistan at the time of partition in 1947? Number one. Number two, the reality is that 163 constituencies, legislative constituencies in West Bengal have come under the grip of Muslim vote bank. And that is precisely the reason the Mamata Banerjee has no guts and courage to oppose those Muslims who are predominantly the voters coming from Bangladesh.
The voters that you want to be thrown out.
And that is why they are against CAA, because that is why they are against NRC. That is why they are against CAA, because those illegitimate infiltrators into this country will get delegitimized. They will not be having the voter right if NRC is applied.
Well, I'll let people decide that if NRC and CA are applied, those Muslims from Bangladesh will get thrown out, but the Hindus from Bangladesh and Pakistan and Afghanistan will get a citizenship in our country. That's essentially what it is. Everybody's known that. We've debated it again and again. We thought it was almost done and there was no point so much discussing it anymore because the government came out and told us, well, there are no conversations happening on NRC. But the party that is in power is still using this as political fodder. But the party on ground is still telling people that this is what will happen. The party on ground is still using it on a communal basis to reach out to the people, and they're doing it through these tiny booklets, going to every household, every person, and putting this message across. So if the message from the Prime Minister and the Home Minister is for the entire country, how come it missed their own party workers in West Bengal? Completely out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate. Welcome back. Mumbai Underworld Don Ajaz Lakdawala was arrested on Wednesday after he was apprehended in Patna. Lakrawala, who is said to be involved in over 20 cases from extortion to attempted murder and rioting, is also an accused in 80 cases of simply extortion. Why is this important? Who really is this man? Let's go across to Vinay Tiwari, our managing editor, joining me from the newsroom. Vinay, you have a lot of stories and great insights into Aejaz, but the challenge is, what can you tell us in 2.5 minutes?
Yes, I mean, I wish we could actually compress his life into 1.5 minutes, but to put it very succinctly, he was pretty much the nemesis of Bollywood, so to speak. I mean, one thing that connects with every Indian, he was the man responsible for the maximum amount of extortion threats that he issued to Bollywood. Also known as the master of disguises. The picture that you see on your screen right now is one of the many others that you'll see about or around him or about him. He's used the disguise to escape from many places, including once from Bangkok, when he was allegedly shot. In fact, it later turned out that he was never shot at all, and he reappeared in Canada after some time. He formed his own gang in 2000, even though Tanvi, he had split away from the Daud gang in the mid-90s as well. Right after the Mumbai blast happened, when Chota Rajan split up, he too had split up and had moved away from Daud Ibrahim because he was an ambitious man. He wanted his own company, so to speak. He wasn't happy with the D company. So that's something that happened in the year 2000. He's also somebody who's held multiple passports, and he's also held multiple identities from Dubai to Europe to Canada to Bangkok. He's been in many countries and under various passports. So very resourceful man, connected as well. Lived under another name in Canada, as we said. In fact, he was once arrested by the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as well, because there was a red corner notice against him issued by the Interpol on the request of CBI. So that was something that had happened. What after happened, he escaped, arrested in 1996, but then he escaped in 1998 again using one of his famous disguises and techniques. Also, as I said, very resourceful as well. He had connections and he could get the fake documents made who looked, in those days, it was not very difficult to hoodwink the security establishment because we didn't have that kind of technology available to trace and forged passport, so to speak. So this was pretty much in a nutshell who Aejaz Lakrawala is. But not just about him. How he got arrested is also another very fascinating story. Remember, the Mumbai police over the last couple of years or so has been carrying out a crackdown against the remnants of the underworld that still remains in Bombay. One part of it happened when Aejaz Lakrawala's daughter got arrested by the Mumbai police just last year. She was arrested on a passport violation charge, but it was her arrest that actually led to the maximum amount of information about his whereabouts. She was attempting to leave to Nepal, which is where he was actually in terms of what the police knew. This fake document is what led to her arrest. She was in fact also involved in extortion in Mumbai. That was the charge that the Mumbai's anti-extortion police had leveled against her. Her interrogation was critical in the police figuring out that Lakrawala would possibly be in Patna on 8th of January, and that's when they actually held a coordinated operation with the local police and carried out and arrested him finally. He's a big catch, as you rightly said, more than 80 cases of extortion against him. And those cases pretty much should now see some kind of closure because now he's been arrested and brought back to Mumbai where he'll be held trial for all those cases, Tanvi.
Okay, so the master of disguise, has finally been caught, irrespective of the fact that he changed his face so many times. It wasn't just a mustache and a hat that he wore and, got away from the police authorities. He actually underwent surgeries to change his features. But finally, the law has caught up with him and he's now been arrested. Vinay Tiwari, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back. Mumbai Underworld Don Aejaz Lakrawala was arrested on Wednesday after he was apprehended in Patna. Lakrawala, who is said to be involved in over 20 cases from extortion to attempted murder and rioting, is also an accused in 80 cases of simply extortion. Why is this important? Who really is this man? Let's go across to Vinay Tiwari, our managing editor, joining me from the newsroom. Vinay, you have a lot of stories and great insights into Aejaz, but the challenge is, what can you tell us in 2.5 minutes?
Yes, I mean, I wish we could actually compress his life into 1.5 minutes, but to put it very succinctly, he was pretty much the nemesis of Bollywood, so to speak. I mean, one thing that connects with every Indian, he was the man responsible for the maximum amount of extortion threats that he issued to Bollywood. Also known as the master of disguises. The picture that you see on your screen right now is one of the many others that you'll see about or around him or about him. He's used the disguise to escape from many places, including once from Bangkok, when he was allegedly shot. In fact, it later turned out that he was never shot at all, and he reappeared in Canada after some time. He formed his own gang in 2000, even though Tanvi, he had split away from the Daud gang in the mid-90s as well. Right after the Mumbai blast happened, when Chota Rajan split up, he too had split up and had had moved away from Dawood Ibrahim because he was an ambitious man. He wanted his own company, so to speak. He wasn't happy with the D company. So that's something that happened in the year 2000. He's also somebody who's held multiple passports and he's also held multiple identities from Dubai to Europe to Canada to Bangkok. He's been in many countries and under various passports. So very resourceful man, connected as well. Lived under another name in Canada, as we said. In fact, he was once arrested by the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as well, because there was a red corner notice against him issued by the Interpol on the request of CBI. So that was something that had happened. What after happened, he escaped, arrested in 1996, but then he escaped in 1998 again using one of his famous disguises and techniques. Also, as I said, very resourceful as well. He had connections and he could get the fake documents made who looked in those days, it was not very difficult to hoodwink the security establishment because we didn't have that kind of technology available to trace and forged passport, so to speak. So this was pretty much in a nutshell who Ijaz Lakdawala is. But not just about him. How he got arrested is also another very fascinating story. Remember, the Mumbai police over the last couple of years or so has been carrying out a crackdown against the remnants of the underworld that still remains in Bombay. One part of it happened when Ijaz Lakdawala's daughter got arrested by the Mumbai police just last year. She was arrested on a passport violation charge, but it was her arrest that actually led to the maximum amount of information about his whereabouts. She was attempting to leave to Nepal, which is where he was actually in terms of what the police knew. This fake document is what led to her arrest. She was in fact also involved in extortion in Mumbai. That was the charge that the Mumbai's anti-extortion police had leveled against her. Her interrogation was critical in the police figuring out that Lakdawala would possibly be in Patna on 8th of January, and that's when they actually held a coordinated operation with the local police and carried out and arrested him finally. He's a big catch, as you rightly said, more than 80 cases of extortion against him. And those cases pretty much should now see some kind of closure because now he's been arrested and brought back to Mumbai where he'll be held trial for all those cases, Tanvi.
Okay, so the master of disguise, has finally been caught, irrespective of the fact that he changed his face so many times. It wasn't just a mustache and a hat that he wore and, got away from the police authorities. He actually underwent surgeries to change his features. But finally, the law has caught up with him and he's now been arrested. Vinay Tiwari, thank you so much for joining us. Completely out of time, so I'm going to wrap this edition of the Urban Debate and hand it over to Sanjana, who's joining us with the last one.